Before this season, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander had never scored 50 or more points in a single NBA game for his entire career, which had many wondering how could a player whose career high was in the 40s ever win the league MVP award. Because for as long as we can remember, the NBA MVP was reserved for not only the best playmakers, but plain and simple the best scorers in our game. In fact, since 2010, only one time has a player been outside the top 10 in points per game and won the league MVP. That was when Nikola Jokic won his first MVP in 2021, where he finished with the 9th most rebounds and the 6th most assists per game, along with the 12th most in points. However, this had me wondering that if scoring dominance is such a huge factor in who we consider to be the MVP of the league, then in each MVP season dating back to 2010, which players had the highest single game point total in the season in which they won their MVP award? This season, Shai dropped 54 points in a game, which is tied with Kevin Durant for the 4th most in an MVP season dating back to 2010. And this year, Shai had 4 total 50-point games on the year, with his career high coming in his MVP season, whereas other players mostly can't say the same. Durant also scored 54 in his MVP year, where he had only 2 total 50-point games, and one was 1 point shy of his single game career high of 55 points. 54 points in 2014 was good enough for the 3rd highest scoring game by a player in that season. But the highest scoring game among an MVP season in the last 15 years goes to none other than James Harden, who had the 7th highest point per game average in a single season in NBA history. In his MVP season that he averaged 30 points a game, Harden doubled that average for a 60-point game that is not actually his career high, but is good for the most points scored in an MVP season in the last 15 years. It was also the most points scored in a single game by any player in that NBA season. And that game also became the first 60-point triple-double in NBA history. The second is Joel Embiid, who is among the few players in NBA history to score 70 or more points in a game, but that performance didn't come from his MVP season. In his MVP year, Embiid saw the 50-point mark 3 times, and most notably when he scored his high of 59 for that historic season. That 59-point performance was the 5th highest scoring game by a player in that year. The 2017 MVP Russell Westbrook, whose season was primarily known for his triple-double average, he did score 51 in the 2nd game of the season for one of his 4 total 50-point games on the year, but his highest was a 58-point game against the Trailblazers in a game in which the Thunder actually lost, where Westbrook put up the 4th highest point total in the season. Now for Curry, who is one of the most prolific shooters in the history of the NBA, and in his 2nd MVP season, he dropped 53 points, which is the 5th most for an MVP in the last 15 years. He also dropped 51 points in his 2015 MVP season that ranks 7th among the last 15 award winners. Neither total is close to his career high of 62 points, but in his first MVP season, Curry only passed the 40-point mark 2 times, which is surprising for the type of scorer that we think of him. In his 2015 MVP year, his teammate Klay Thompson actually had a higher single game point total than he did. Then Giannis had a total of 52 and 50 in his MVP seasons in 2019 and 2020 that are the 6th and 8th most among the last 15 winners. In his 52-point game, 19 of his points came from the free throw line, where he shot 90% even though he was a career 69% shooter from the line. His 50-point total ties with Nikola Jokic in his 2021 MVP season, where Nikola lost the game behind his 33 shot attempts in Sacramento. And that 50-point game from Nikola Jokic is the last of the last 15 MVPs to drop a 50-point game in the year they won the award. A season after that MVP, Jokic came 1 point short with a 49-point game that was one of his 3 40-point games for the year, where he attempted the most single game free throws in the season. Then 7 points down comes the 42-point game from Derrick Rose that ties with Jokic for the 10th most among the last 15 winners. 2011 MVP Derrick Rose scored 42 twice in that season. In one of those games, Rose didn't make a single 3-pointer, and only 6 of his points came at the free throw line, which shows exactly how much this game has transformed and why the scoring is so different in today's NBA. That game was the 21st highest scoring total for that season. And the last 2 spots round off with LeBron James, who scored 41 in his 2012 campaign and then 40 points in the 2013 season MVP. 2012 Bron scored 40 twice in his MVP season, in which he averaged 27 points a game. That scoring mark was the 19th highest of the season. The 2013 season only saw one 40-point performance on 1 3 and 11 free throws made. And these numbers are nowhere near the career high of LeBron, but somehow of the last 15 MVPs, LeBron has the lowest scoring season high. Which does it say more that the scoring isn't everything when it comes to the NBA MVP, or does it just show us that a player's best games come after they win the award? Let me know down in the comments below. Now don't forget to follow, because I'm giving away a sign to one of my followers who comment their favorite team on any one of my videos in the month of June. I'm choosing the winner on July 1st, so make sure you're following and comment on one of my June videos for a chance to win a sign for your favorite team.